So with alcohol, if we want to go ahead and raise the compression, as is done in Brazil and many other places that make alcohol-specific engines, you can start to see mileages better than gasoline if you engineer directly for the alcohol. So in Brazil, simple conversions, the Model A conversion, you know, just the air-fuel mixture and the spark advance, they have to be within 10% of gasoline, which of course all the gasoline guys say is impossible. It's supposed to be 30% less. But quite often they exceed gasoline's requirements when they use off the assembly line high compression alcohol engines in Brazil. Because in Brazil, they actually make engines specifically designed for alcohol. And the reason why they're able to do that, or were able to get that to happen in Brazil, is because they weren't a democracy when it happened. You see, the government of Brazil in the 70s was getting hit with really high prices for oil. And they said, well, we're going to go back to where we were just 20 years ago before World War II, you know, 30 years ago before World War II. We're going to go ahead and start doing alcohol again. They went to the car companies and said, okay, you need to start making cars off the assembly line that are designed for alcohol. And the car companies all said, oh no, we'd have to retool everything. It's far too complex. You Brazilians don't know what you're talking about. You need to talk to us engineers. And the military dictators of Brazil said, read our lips. You want to sell cars here? They got to run on alcohol. I'll be darned if 3 months later they weren't making alcohol cars right off the assembly line for the same price as gasoline cars.
No, I'm sorry, who's they?
The auto companies.
In the United States?
Brazil. This is all in Brazil. Okay.
What auto companies are they?
Ford, GM, Chrysler, Toyota, all the same ones.
Multinational companies with their offices in Brazil are right now able to, so that technology could pop right over here without any problem at all if they wanted it to.
It took, like I say, less than 3 months to put them off the assembly line. The government of Brazil, for the first time in 20 years, is going to let an American tour their program. You know, they like what we're doing. So we're going to go down and document a whole enormous country that has to get rid of 100,000 barrels of oil a day, gasoline a day, because they're stuck with it, as they put it. They don't have a use for it. After they make everything else out of oil, this toxic waste product they sell to others because they are energy self-sufficient. And they've got a president there now, Lula, who is taking the alcohol program and bringing it back up to where it was early on. In the 80s and early 90s, Brazil was 80% running on alcohol. Now they're down to 1/4 of the vehicles run on alcohol because of drop in oil prices and oil company corruption with some of the past governments. But Lula is cranking the program right back up with the goal of not only making Brazil completely energy self-sufficient, but they're already exporting alcohol to Argentina, they're exporting alcohol to China, because China's figured out that we're not going to let them have any of that Caspian oil. And they're bypassing oil. They're going right to alcohol. They have the biggest alcohol plants in the world right now in China. The 2008 Olympics are going to be run on alcohol in China to show the rest of the world that oil is not king. Okay. But I'll tell you, cars right now are coming off our assembly lines in the United States able to run on alcohol. But I'm going to save that for a little bit. We'll get there. So you can convert a vehicle to do this. It costs some money to rebuild your engine to do this kind of thing. It could even cost $3,000 to $4,000 to make a high compression engine. But you would get much better mileage over the life of the vehicle. If you do that, you also get a tax credit, depending on the size of the vehicle, of up to $5,000 for converting your engine to alcohol. And the usual credit is $2,000 for, say, a large pickup truck. It would be $5,000. So you actually get back quite a bit of the money you would spend on conversion as a deduction. Sorry, it used to be a credit, now it's a deduction. So so that you get some of that back. But to do the simple conversion that we're talking about, which is changing the air-fuel mixture and the tuning and a few other little, like heating the fuel and a few other things like that, you can do that easily for $1,500 or less.
What's a question about a car that would run on alcohol in environments like somewhere in Alaska?
Good question.
Compared to California?